Jake,
Hmm?
are we human? Or are we Leinster?
Leinster.
I don't know the
The
lyrics to the
players are on their knees.
He's
Bro,
actually learned the song off as well, hasn't he? Yeah.
dude, they created a new song just for that one game and got absolutely shafted.
song.
Can you believe it? Ladies
Maybe
and
that's why
gentlemen.
we lost. Maybe that song is why they saw the song and were like, here, well,
Oh, it's a ridiculous song. It's terrible.
I heard the first
It's
10
awful.
seconds and I had to
It's
scroll
terrible.
up.
Yeah. I'm
Dude.
glad it wasn't sung because I think I said in my video that I would have left the stadium if I heard that crap.
Everyone, welcome back to Casual Buys Rugby. We'll be talking about the Champions Cup. We'll also have a little chat about the Challenge Cup that passed this weekend. But massive games. It's official. We'll have new champions. We'll have 2 new finalists, by the way. Jake, we witnessed one of the greatest games of franchise or club rugby, whatever you want to call it.
Mate.
Well, both days were great, right? But
Yes.
Saturday especially, how good?
Yes. I think it was, I can't remember. Did Utah get a win over San Diego? I can't remember. It was a cracking game, but yeah, I enjoyed it. No, you want to talk about this Leinster thing, do you?
Yeah, of course.
No, I think we should give Tiernan the opportunity to talk first.
Okay, fine. Tiernan, you were actually
let's do that.
at the game, right before your disaster class. How confident were you going into the stadium, and how did you feel after it all?
I genuinely couldn't see it. I wasn't even worried at all because I just couldn't see a world where Leinster possibly lose this game. Because that Northampton team was they're missing 6 out of from their usual starting 23 or like match day 23. Leinster were fully loaded, 1 injury, which is James Ryan, who arguably wouldn't even start at the game, and they just got dismantled. They got bullied from start to finish. Geordie on the bench. I don't understand why you sign an All Black to win you big games and you don't start him in the big games. Yeah, honestly, there's just so much that went wrong, so much that I don't understand, and it cost them the tournament. And it's the same stuff every year now. You know, they're in the same place. Like, we'll build on it now next year. Like, what more can you possibly give the Leinster team? What do you build on? That's my question.
I'm guessing you're back on the horse of the Leo Cullen out.
I was never on that horse. Like, I'm always kind of saying, you know, he's still one of the most decorated coaches in club rugby history. But I'm not saying he should be sacked by any means, but if he doesn't win the URC, he's probably going to get sacked because there's clearly a mentality issue in Leinster that they just can't win big games.
You know,
and the strategy, if you look at the strategy on Saturday, it was completely off.
People, please do remember to hit that like and subscribe button. It's totally free. Go show Tiernan and Jake some love and support on their socials as well, whether it's on TikTok or YouTube. As you know, we're trying to grow the community. And if you are already part of the rugby community on our Discord chat, right before the game started, I posted a message. I don't know if the 2 of you guys saw it, but I said, I just get the feeling that Leinster might get bit in the arse with this one because it just clicked in my mind where we didn't really talk about it. But is it this thing where Leinster clearly has the better team compared to Saints, right? Especially with all the injuries and those type of things. But the fact that they're not playing week in, week out means that they could get caught cold. Now, I'm not saying they were caught cold. I'm just saying that Saints were great, literally. But the fact that Saints have been playing week in, week out with the same team, they understand the structure, the chemistry is there. Now you go into a semi-final with Leinster, where they have about 5 games the whole season, and then they try and play the big game. So the guys that got you there in the first place isn't playing. And then you have possibly your best player. Like, I know Erge Snyman still played, but Geordie Barrett, for instance, to have him on the bench is ridiculous to me. And I heard it's about the contracts, right? So apparently they need like a special thumbs up letter from someone to say, okay, we can play Geordie Barrett above Hugo Keenan or above Robbie Henshaw or whatever it is. But like to see the form that he was on and then to kind of drop him to the bench is a crazy call. It's a ridiculous call. Jake, what's your thoughts on them not playing their strongest team throughout the season. Do you reckon that played a role, as I just mentioned? And what's your thoughts on when you saw Geordie on the bench?
Yes, it's played a role in the last 4 years. I've lost it. I keep losing in the big games because they rest it the week before. I think it was Fraser Dingwall, the Northampton Saints centre, said after they're really one of the tightest groups in rugby, he believes, and the Northampton, and when you play with each other week in, week out, you just sort of grow that bond and also that match sharpness, and you know what every player's going to do. And it's all good doing it in training and practicing certain set pieces and how you want to attack the breakdown, whatever. But you need that match sharpness and in-game scenarios. And Leinster lack that, you could argue, in consistency. But Geordie Barrett, I don't believe that lost him the game, because I think Henshaw and Ringrose still world-class centre partnership, but it does seem a bit odd. You're going to bring him in especially and you don't play him.
Yeah, I mean, just if you take, for instance, the last 8 games, I think Leinster probably played their strongest team at most 2 or 3 times. Whereas Saints probably just played a rotated team 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
So you kind of lose a bit of that sharpness.
You do have to kind of realise that it's the RFU that are forced now. It's not Leinster going
of course,
the whole season. So that's people always gone about how it's unfair how Leinster have the full Ireland team. But stuff like this happens where you can't play together week in, week out. So I almost think there's too many big names. You look at the Sharks, so many big names, but they're never playing. Now they play a bit more in Leinster, but I can't understand what went wrong, because yes, they don't play together. They might not have that cohesion. But you look at Harlequin, 62-0, they played perfectly. You look at Glasgow, 52-0, again, played perfectly. And I don't see why there was no reason for them to not go into that game and play the same now. What happened was Saints shocked Leinster early, and that was it pretty much. They were chasing the game the whole time. And if there's one thing the Sharks aren't good at, is chasing the game.
Yeah. The thing is with the Sharks, it's a little bit different. They do still rotate, but most of their stuff was because of injury. If you look at last season, they pretty much played a full-strength team the whole season, because they play a pretty much full-strength team in the Currie Cup as well. They always try and field their strongest team. With Leinster, that's why I said you need the special permission or whatever. The RFU is a bit different. So I'm not going to sit and blame the coaches, but I do hope that they at least put in the request to play Geordie Barrett, because it feels like a straightforward move. He's your most informed player at the moment.
Sure.
It just doesn't make
that now. Yeah.
But
late, they're out.
Yeah, I don't want to take anything away from Saints, because they were extraordinary.
They were
unbelievable.
The thing is, I don't think they could have played better. That's the thing.
They fought at every breakdown, and credit has to go to that defense, because Leinster put it on them. There were so many times that they had to defend 5 meters out or whatever. Henry Pollock was absolutely outstanding. I thought Finn Smith had an absolute blinder of a game. John Augustus just once again doing his dirty work. We don't get to see him much, and I asked it on Jake. I think it was on your TikTok live that someone else joined from England just to ask, listen, should he get a call up to the Springboks and stuff? And he said Augustus is very up and down, but I think this was a great performance by him. I thought he was absolutely sensational. Yeah. Obviously, some of the other guys that I don't know, Jake, you would know a bit more about Saints, but they put out an absolutely outstanding performance. This is not I'm not trying to knock Leinster, because obviously we can say, yeah, they were called cold or whatever, but they pitched up still. Leinster still played rugby. Saints were just better on the day.
Yeah. I rewatched most of the game yesterday, and I don't want to get into every single player, but what really impressed me were the props, because the starting props, especially Davison and Iogan, but all the forwards, every single time they went into a tackle, they really attacked the Leinster ball carriers. They really hit them hard and made sure to make dominant tackles. That was what they seemed to be targeting. And then, as I said, Henry Pollock, doesn't matter about his crazy try, but what he does is every single breakdown, he's just trying to get the ball, and even if he knows he can't get it, he slows down Leinster by 2 seconds, and the rest telling him no, leave it, and it just gives Saints an extra couple of seconds to reorganise their defence. And how many tries you can see? I don't know. They just seem like a really good defensive performance.
Did you also pick up that it looks like Henry Pollock kind of takes a bit of a leadership role in that Saints team? Like a couple of times, like for instance, just small things like Alex Mitchell would pick up the ball. You know that fake little tap that they do, but then Henry Pollock calms the situation down or whatever like that. You can see he's got a rugby brain on him. He understands the game. The way that he hits the holes is crazy because he does it game in, game out. He absolutely gassed Sam Prendergast there, by the way. Like absolutely flew past him. Like, I'm not gonna leech on Sam Prendergast because I'm guessing he's had a pretty tough weekend after that game. It wasn't his best performance. But wow, that guy just plays absolutely sensational rugby at the moment.
Yeah. And I don't know about a leadership role, but it's like he gets the team hyped up, doesn't he? He's very positive, I think, in attitude, and you feel the energy coming off him. But
crowd loves him.
I think that's what they were missing last year in the semi-final when they lost. Was someone like him.
I think what Fraser Dingwall was saying, because I like Fraser Dingwall and how he speaks. I think what he's saying is that last year they took too long to play their own game. They sort of went in and tried to see what Leinster would do and stay in it. But this time they really attacked Leinster when they could. And I think you can see it with the sort of fast start.
Tiernan, how would you feel if the turning point for Leinster rugby would be to bring silverware home to your biggest rival, Rico Ioane? What if he's the turning point for you? Well, the thing is, like, where does Rico really slot in? Because if you look at the base player for Leinster on the day,
start. He doesn't start.
It was who's your wing? Tommy
O'Brien, right? Because a lot of people are saying
was sensational.
There's no chance. Rico Ioane does not get near that Robbie Henshaw, Gary Ringrose centre pairing. Like, you're delusional if you think otherwise. But the wing was kind of people saying, he might start in the wing. But now in comes Tommy O'Brien, who's an absolute, like, who's got wheels. Like, in Leinster, you have James Lowe, but he's not exactly speedy. He's very tactical. But then we now just have like a rapid winger.
Yeah, he was brilliant.
See him cementing himself in that team and being better than Rico Ioane. So I don't understand the Rico Ioane signing at all. I get Jordy Barrett because he's such a good utility player. And he's
but you could probably see Rico as a utility player as well. But all three of us, as said before, that we don't really see Rico as your ideal third. I feel like Rico Ioane plays better as a 12 than he would play as a 13 with the way that
he's not better than Henshaw. He's not better than Ringrose.
No. He doesn't touch the centre position, in my opinion. Like, I fully agree with you. Like, for me, when he got signed, I was like, that's your wing. But then, obviously, Tommy O'Brien hasn't stood out as much. But in the last couple of months, Tommy O'Brien has just taken his game to a new level. In my opinion, he's better than, not Henshaw, Mac Hansen.
I wouldn't be surprised if he gets in the Ireland team in maybe a year or two.
Just with the way that he's playing.
Wait, he'll probably get in this summer, won't he? On the sort of AB squad.
Yeah, he'll be having a big part to play this summer, playing Romania and Portugal or Georgia and Portugal or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, we go back to the game though. Like, I think, what was I going to say? I've forgotten. That whole thing with Jordy Barrett. I think, now, I don't think it lost him the game, but I think he would have brought so much in that first half that they wouldn't have been in the situation at the end. And we talked about the situation at the end of the game, actually, where Leinster had 2 or 3 chances to win it. They could have kicked their points in forced extra time, but they didn't. And I think in the build-up to this game, it's an arrogance thing, right? I just think that their focus was making the final, how they're going to win the tournament. Their focus isn't game to game. It's never been game to game. And I think that's what happens when they came up against the Saints, who go there. The media's been telling them all week that, they're going to get smashed by 30, 40 points. Leinster are going to dominate them. And they now go, they've nothing to lose, and they can just play their rugby. They played their rugby, and they blew Leinster out the park. And,
do you reckon Leinster plays their full-strength team now for the rest of the URC?
Well, of course they have to. So they have to. Leo has to win silverware this season.
Right? It will look very bad if you go back into the URC now. You should just see your old team there once again.
And I'm just thinking, they want to win the URC, but in Leinster, they want the Champions Cup, and they've gone and fucked up the one they wanted to win again. So I don't know what their mentality is going to be like in the URC now. They have to win it, because if Leo wants to keep his job, I do think he has to win the URC. Just for the club, it would be great. But the thing is, they built this team around winning the Champions Cup this year, and yet again, they have failed in a tight game. And I don't know what more you can now give this Leinster team.
Yeah, no, it is. Tiernan, we can see it's a tough pill to swallow, right? We're laughing, but we don't have a real fight, a dog in the fight. So Jake, you brought it up in the preview, and I wanted to come back and ask you about this now after the game. We spoke about the little clash that we could see between Finn Smith and Sam Prendergast. How impressed were you by Finn Smith? Do you reckon he's probably now the favourite for the British and Irish Lions for Australia?
I mean, I'm not really impressed because he does this every week. He's just an incredible player, and yeah, I mean, I said Finn Smith is a lot better than Sam Prendergast. It's not a dig on Sam Prendergast. I just think he's behind in his development. You can see Prendergast has the ability to be brilliant, but I feel bad for him because I feel like he's being pushed into this role ahead of Ross Byrne and ahead of Jack Crowley at international level, and I just don't think he's really ready for it yet. That's just my honest opinion. But yeah, Finn Smith was incredible. His overall kicking game, his like just a bit like decision making and when to pass it, when to attack and go wide, when to just get rid of it. It's what he's so good.
It's just a composed player. He just has such a calm mind in the attack. His kicking game was great.
Russell?
What's that?
Does he start over Russell?
No opinion, yeah. Well, my opinion, yeah.
I don't think Russell should. I think Russell barely makes the bench.
In my opinion, when it comes to the Lions, I'm just like, what more do you want from your fly-off that Finn Russell will offer you that Finn Smith doesn't? Because Finn Smith has hardly put a foot wrong. He's played brilliant rugby. He's fit into the system.
He wins that game against Prendergast, and
everyone knows I'm not the biggest Finn Russell fan necessarily, but this is not a knock on Finn Russell because I actually thought Finn Russell had a decent game for Bath this weekend. It's more so just that Finn Smith's really impressing me at the moment.
If Finn Smith wins the Champions Cup, I think you have to give it to him. Starting jersey.
I think I love both of them. I'm a big fan of both of them, and I watch them more than a lot of other tens. But I think what you got to give Finn Smith in particular is that he is even better probably at saving his team maybe when they're going backwards. I mean, Bath have a lot stronger squad, you would say, this year. So Finn Russell gets like an easier ride than Finn Smith. And Finn Smith is just putting his hand up. Every single challenge he gets, like Six Nations and this, and he just seems to excel, you know?
Yeah. Well, that brings the end of that game. There was the French derby. Jake, did you want to add anything else on that?
I could talk about this game for an hour. So
yeah, you see that we 20 minutes in, so I just wanted to make sure. Now, if you have something else to add to it, then obviously we can. I just think on the Sam Prendergast thing, it's such a tough thing because the guy's still so young. He's so talented. You can see the talent's there. Obviously, he needs definite work in his defense because I saw a TikTok video. I think it was yesterday or the day before. No, it was yesterday, where they had like a defensive compilation of the guy just missing tackles, and I'm just like, that's so harsh. It's so harsh for.
It's probably a Munster fan made as well. They're pretty they don't like their own country's players, but
well, I'm telling you,
it's something.
Frawley's stocks has gone through the roof after that game.
Frawley stocks, yeah, invest in Frawley, lads. But yeah, I think Sam Prendergast had real potential in the under-20s, but he's just been thrown into the deep end too fast.
Yeah, he just needs a bit more time.
This season, they should have backed Kieran Frawley to be the Champions Cup 10 because, you know, he's had a few bad games recently, maybe mostly because, you know, he just got scrutinised by the media after that New Zealand game, which he wasn't great in. But I do think Sam Prendergast, they're expecting way too much of a 21-year-old under-20 graduate who's playing his first season of proper professional rugby.
Yeah, I feel for the guy because, I mean, even Frawley, like the hate piled on that guy, like he went from 0 to 0 in one game, which is crazy. I mean, we talked after the Irish tour to South Africa about how good Frawley was, the impact that he brought, and I know you spoke about it as well, giving him an opportunity above, for instance, Crowley, right? And then all of a sudden, they just dumped Frawley like it was nothing from the Irish squad, from the Leinster squad. And it's just like, how does that even make sense? It makes zero sense because the way that they dumped him off, Prendergast really struggled in all the big games, kind of. Right? If you look at that French performance as well, where he wasn't really at the races, you look at this game, and it's like, well, Frawley's still there. Why is he not getting any backing from his club or his country?
And that's why I think his form's gone down. Because you're there, Kieran Frawley. You won Ireland game in South Africa, probably their most needed win of 2024. And then he plays a few games in the URC for Leinster before the November series. He's amazing in them. But then suddenly you go into his first big test match where he's got a lot of pressure on him. He comes on the pitch when, Ireland are 10 points down. And yet they lose the game. And apparently it's his fault because he just happened to drop 2 balls in that game. So he did not lose that game. But the media, particularly, the media that are annoyed that Crowley is getting a bit of challenge, just attacked him and he hasn't been seen since. So, yeah, I do think that it's the wrong decision, especially after all the big games that Prendergast clearly hasn't been, not that he hasn't been able to perform, but that he's maybe not ready for them yet, and he hasn't played well in them. And I think now that both Ireland and Leinster have kind of realised, maybe we should have gone a bit slower with things.
Yeah. Jake, just the final thing on Saints. How do you reckon they feel going into this final now after a victory like that? Do you think that victory is big enough where it's like, okay, we can actually do it, we can beat Bordeaux? Or do you feel like this might just be well, obviously by that time they'll have a lot of their players back, right? How serious is the injuries?
I don't know. I think they're quite long, all the ones they're missing. Furbank might be back, but I think Henry
Slido
might both be gone still, from what I hear. But I just want to make a couple of points quickly. We talked about likes of the internationals and Augustus as well going to South Africa, but what about maybe Ram or Kemeny for just an outside chance of Australia? Because they were both fantastic, I thought, and they've been really good. Australia aren't weak in either of those 2 positions, but just as a backup to Tom Wright or a backup 6, I mean, they're playing pretty well, both of them. So that's just an option if they wanted to.
Yeah, it's just a tough thing where it's like, I didn't even know, what are they Australian?
Yeah, they're the 6, Jack Kemeny, and then James Ram, fullback, Australian.
Yeah, it's just a tough thing where it's like, if they haven't played for Australia before, and you see it with the Springboks as well, when we have these international guys, if they haven't played international before, it's tough to get that backing in the first place.
Yeah, I think Kemeny's played once or something, once or twice, but yeah.
If you look at Australia, for instance, let's take Ram, right? Like he's played pretty well and for a good while. But Tom Wright's there, Andrew Kellaway's there, Swali is there. So do they really want to take that added risk as well? I don't know. I'm not sure how Les Kies will see it. So yeah. I wouldn't be surprised because of their form, but I would also be surprised if they don't go with a tried and trusted.
I don't suspect they would, but I just think they should get more of a discussion about them because they've both been brilliant, and we talked about.
You can say the same about Pete Samu, who's been sensational for Bordeaux.
Oh yeah, him as well. He's been really good. And then I also want to say just quickly that I want the best for English clubs, of course, but that Northampton coaching team of Dowson, Vesti, and their defence coach Radford, who came in at the start of last year, they got to be highly sought after now by some international teams because they are fucking amazing.
Yeah, the issue is just like what international team, maybe Scotland, because I reckon England will probably still back Borthwick because he had a pretty good Six Nations. I reckon Russie's obviously already signed for 2027. All Blacks are fine. I think does Wales have a coach?
Even if it's as assistant coaches,
maybe that could open doors for them.
I hope not, in a way, unless it's England, because I want them to stay at Northampton.
Well, you still need to replace Felix Jones, so
we've done that.
Oh, have you? Okay, my bad. Okay, let's actually move on to the Sunday game because this was another banger, right? Obviously, Toulouse with a lot of injuries and stuff, but with the squad depth, it doesn't really feel like they have injuries. Bordeaux beating out Toulouse to confirm that we'll have a new champion this year.
For the 3rd time this season. They've beaten 3 times there.
How good is Bordeaux? Holy fucking shit.
Good. Yeah. And every criticism they had going into this game, they kind of played that away because there's a big thing about how they leak a lot of points. Their defense was great. Toulouse barely made any line breaks. And at the same time, they normally leak 20, 25 points. I don't think they did. What was the final score? It was 33-15 or something.
Yeah, Toulouse got totally outplayed. It doesn't even matter what the score in the end was. Like Bordeaux, was by far the better team.
It was a very weak Toulouse team, though.
I have to say, yeah.
Compared to their strongest team, yes.
I mean,
without Ramos,
missing
like Ramos,
Ramos,
Dupont, Kinghorn.
Yeah, and like even Caporto's, this must be his first game back or something. Like, you know, it's a fragmented team.
But even still, like, you still look at the players that they had. I mean, okay, yeah, you lose Ramos, but you bring in Juan Cruz Malia, right? Like, let's not act like that's some pipsqueak that you're bringing in. Ange Capuozzo was still on the wing. You still had Roman Intermark. You still had Jack Willis. You still had the big names there. Not all of them, obviously. No Mavaka, but Marchand is there. So it's like that team should still be strong enough to put up a proper fight.
It was quite close for a while, like an hour.
Yeah.
It was like 7 points. But...
How good was that try right after halftime?
Yeah, it was crazy.
That was ridiculous.
So it looked like a forward pass to me, but yeah, BLB.
Louis Bilbao is probably the front runner at the moment for World Player of the Year.
Yeah,
probably, definitely, yeah. Especially if he wins this. No, I know that doesn't count towards it, but, you know.
Yeah, but I think subconsciously it counts a bit as well. Like, obviously, we haven't seen the Southern teams play, but the way that he's been playing, the growth in that guy from, I know he was good in 2023 during the World Cup as well, but like since 2023 till now, he's kind of taken that mature adult role in both his teams. He looks unstoppable.
But the other winger, Peno, is injured. I look like a bad one.
Yeah, very. Achilles. He was walking after that. He was walking around fine. So maybe
he looked very disappointed after the match.
Yeah.
It's always those when it comes to like those ligaments, which like a knee or an ankle, even if they still walk off, you just feel like this could be a long time.
Yeah. I don't think he'll be back for a final.
No.
How good was Jalibert though? Holy shit!
He was great. Him and Luku just link up so well, don't they?
Luku deciding to pull out about 60 meters out of his boot. Then you have Jalibert, who's, in my opinion, he's probably better than Intermark at the moment. Like, if France had to choose a team,
he's the best attacking 10 in the world. The best attacking 10 in the world, I'd say, is Jalibert.
Yeah.
What about Prendergast?
Well, we saw what happened on Saturday. Look, I'm a fan of Sam Prendergast, but like, he does have a lot of work to do if he wants to. You know, he needs to be better in defense as well. And he is a great attacking player, but he got.
What about your boy Sasha? It's pretty good.
Well, Jalibert might be the best 10 in the world, but Sasha's the second best player in the world after Daniel Willemse.
Yeah.
No, but obviously that was a massive victory for Bordeaux. Like, you could see after the game the jubilation and those type of things. Like, it was crazy, and the try scored in that game was sensational. Now, we don't get broadcasting rights to the top 14. I'm not sure about you guys. Is all top 14 games like that?
No, they're the opposite. They're shite. They're so bad.
Really?
Were the commentators not saying it for you guys? Like, top 14 games are not like this. They're normally just, slow forward ball.
No, it's known to be like attritional, like really defensive, really like just, which is what the strongest teams are. But
it's because since they've so many games, the away team barely ever plays their best lineup. So it's
now, on first view, do you guys reckon? On first view, do you guys reckon this is Bordeaux's final to lose, or do you guys think this is going to be a tight fight in the final? How do you feel first glance, Jake?
I don't want to say. I don't want to say Northampton have a great chance, because I'll jinx it. But they do have a great chance here. I mean, if they had the same performance up front in the forwards as they did against Leinster, I'd imagine Northampton can get some ascendancy there, and then those two back lines going against each other is just like box office.
I can't wait for that. But yeah, those two back lines. I said that when the final was confirmed. Like, that is going to be, probably one of the best finals in recent years.
When's that being played? In June?
Haven't won it in ages.
No, it's May the
24th of May. It's pretty soon.
24th.
So that's once again before like the URC and Prem and stuff final.
The week before.
What? Why?
I don't know.
That's kind of cool.
That's stupid.
Just so they don't interfere with the domestic leagues, because all the domestic leagues finish at different times. Like, it comes up pretty quick, but like that's going to be a quality game, and I don't care who wins. Like, I'm not going to go against Northampton here. I actually kind of hope Northampton win because I don't see the trophy go back to France for 50.
We'll get more into it beforehand, but like the Finn Smith's kicking game, that they can't let Bordeaux have quick counter attack, unstructured attack. You know, the more structured the game is, that will help Northampton, I think, and the way they play. So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah. Oh well, if Saints put up a performance like they did over the weekend, they can fancy their chances, because that was a sensational performance. But Bordeaux also just looked great. It's going to be a fiery battle. I'm all here for it.
I just want to ask Tiernan, since he was at the Leinster game. I'm pretty sure I heard through the TV chants from the Northampton Saints fans of "Who are ya? Who are ya?" What do you feel about that? Did you hear them?
There was actually good Leinster atmosphere for once. Got a few songs going. I can't believe it, but in fairness, Northampton fans, they're great. At the end of the game, they took all their shoes off, started going to shoe army, throwing them in the air and stuff. They were great. So,
Could you?
But the crowd sounded up for it the whole game. Like while I was sitting at home, like.
Could you give us a rendition?
It was 35 actual fans there instead of the guys that just get shoehorned in there.
Maybe. And I guess it's because it was an actual tight game. Like normally the last two games had crap atmosphere because like Leinster were 30 points.
Can you give us a rendition of some of these Leinster songs that were going around?
No, I don't sing. Go watch the game back. I think it's like 62 minutes we sing for like 2
minutes. I heard now, this is just a rumor, you can confirm, but the stadium wasn't sold out because all of your fans saved their money for Cardiff.
I wouldn't be surprised. I know I did my part. I bought my ticket, so can't do much more. Actually, what happened with ticket? We don't get ticket sales. It's boring. But what happened last year is that the EPCR let Leinster put Leinster in charge of doing the tickets. But this year the EPCR did it. They wouldn't let Leinster sell any. They wouldn't let Leinster advertise it. And because of that, like, look what happened. It sold out for the two French teams because, you know.
I've heard a lot talked about this Leinster attendance, and it was like the same attendance as the Bordeaux Toulouse game, but it's just, you know, a bigger stadium in the Aviva, so there's not much in it.
It's more the Bordeaux
game sold out. But then you have to think, like, if the Toulouse stadium and stuff, the Bordeaux stadium was a bit bigger, would they have got more fans in?
No, their fans is exactly that number.
No, I think they would have. That game sold out. It wasn't 5 hours; it was 5 minutes it sold out. So they would have got a big crowd. But like, it's a. But
remember, that's a derby. That's different.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, we're comparing two teams from the same country of 70 million people who, like, I've driven between these two cities before in France. Like 4 hours. It's not that long.
And you played Northampton last year. So to be fair to Leinster fans.
Yeah, and it's an English team and an Irish team in a country. Like, it's not like you can get, even if you're like a French team versus an English team, you can get trained in there. You can't do that.
It'll be interesting to see the approach that the IRFU take next year, because I mean, you guys sold out an 82,000 seater stadium in Croke, but then price hiking it. I don't know if it's greediness or whatever it was, but the price hikes where I heard like 3 times the amount for a ticket is ridiculous. That is.
It's not. If Leinster don't sell the EPCR run the semi-finals, so like Leinster, Northampton, have no.
Yeah, that's not the IRFU. My apologies, the EPCR, because I saw some of the comments in the previous video where they said, "Listen, they stacked the prices," and was like, "That's crazy."
You know, up in the heights, you know, up in the Aviva where you have those seats that are like behind rafters and stuff, 70 quid. So,
not ridiculous. Anyway, Challenge Cup. We had Edinburgh taking on Bath. This was a sensational game. I thoroughly enjoyed it. But it's always like that at the Hive. Like, the crowd's up for it. I thought Edinburgh put up a solid performance, and then you could just see like the wheels kind of falling off a bit at the end, and the power of Bath taking over. I thought Finn Russell had a absolutely sensational game. Who's their winger that got the yellow card? Hey?
Will Muir.
Yeah, he was great.
He's great.
If he didn't get a yellow card, he was up there for man of the match performance as well.
He's always great. He should really be playing for England at least sometimes.
Sam Undeal, magic.
I love how he just absolutely smashed Ali Price twice in the game.
Dude, yeah. Did you see when Bath scored a try and someone like tapped Spencer in the stomach? They knocked his wind out, like his own team.
Yeah.
Bro, what was going on there?
I don't know. It was the Bath player Miles Reed, just like a pump up slap, and Ben Spencer's just like afterwards.
Is that the guy with the crazy ginger like hair? That guy.
That was a good game, wasn't it?
Yeah, there was obviously a late change for Bath as well, which kind of makes it a bit more impressive because Thomas DeToy had to drop off to the bench then with the late change. I thought he's great.
Yeah.
Thomas DeToy is so good. Like I've said it before, if I had to choose my props for the Springboks now, whether it's on the bench or starting or whatever, Thomas DeToy has to be involved. On form with how good he's been playing. He's a try-scoring machine as well. He's a juggernaut of a human being. How old is Thomas DeToy? I don't even know.
I don't know, but he's awesome. He is absolutely awesome.
Yeah. I think honestly that was always going to be a tough thing for Edinburgh to go beat that Bath team. I think they should have been playing Champions Cup rugby at this time of the year. Not
he's
Cup.
30, so for prop, he's still props only hit their prime on 32.
He could probably get to USA World Cup if he really tried, looked after himself and was lucky.
35, yeah.
Maybe. Depends on how good the youngsters are that come through. I mean, we have the likes of Jan Hendrik Wessels there, who's like 22 years old, but he's an absolute beast. But yeah, on form, he's probably the first name on the team sheet when it comes to props. That's just how good he's been. But I don't want to take away anything from that Edinburgh performance. Like, they really impressed in terms of how confident we were going into it. We said, listen, they're not winning the game. It's going to be Bath. But they put up a solid fight, and the crowd really got behind them. Jamie Ritchie is playing some worldy rugby. Do you reckon he's on the plane to Australia?
No. But it's not like
on form, probably should be.
Nah, he's not. He wouldn't be undeserving, but I'd still have others ahead of him. But the whole Edinburgh defence was just incredible for a good hour at least. Bath really struggled to break them down.
Yeah. Where's that final being held?
It's Cardiff as well. They do it the day before.
Oh, okay. My bad. Goodness. See, the new ones coming into this thing. We're not used to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you haven't got
you
that.
guys can get a team in the knockout stage next
Well,
year.
we have got there. The Sharks won it.
I know. Is that game?
Oh, no, not this one. I mean the big one.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. And then Leon Racing. We backed Racing. But I said Leon because
how was I meant to know the GOAT Owen would get injured within the first, whatever it was? That's why I lost.
Yeah, I didn't manage to watch this game.
No, I didn't watch it. I didn't watch it either.
I did watch it. It was pretty good. It was a bit slow. Like the first half was shocking. It was like a try, and then second half they started about playing. But Leon did always look like the better team. And
do you reckon? Do you reckon Bath takes it in the final then?
Yeah, definitely. Bath are champions. Bath are Champions Cup quarter final at least team. They've no business being in Challenge Cup, but they battled that game against Bath, and now they're here. So Bath have no excuse not to win this.
Well, that wraps it up for this weekend. Jake, I saw you made a video. I'll just quickly give you a second to talk about it. The Six Nations staying on free TV there in England, which is a massive thing for rugby, right? How long ago did you post that? Because I only saw it yesterday.
About 3 months ago.
What? Okay, my bad. Whoopsie. Well, I actually saw another post that I screenshotted and I was like, maybe I should make a video about it. And I'll just ask your opinions on it.
So this is viewers at home. You can see how much he looks at our content now. That's some insight there.
You just pointed to Ken.
Yeah, I watched a lot of videos.
It's flipped for me. So you know what? I was Oh, sorry. I'm going to butt in. I was quite disappointed that you didn't open up with your normal question today.
We'll get to that. I only realized, in the middle, about your fitness journey.
Yes.
So the USA are interested in hosting a Six Nations game to boost the sport's popularity in America. obviously
They're
there
gonna
is a
want an
World
Ireland
Cup
one
going
as
to the
well. They're
USA.
gonna want
Don't
an
you
Ireland
think
game.
that could be like a good little booster for the likes of the Americans? Because
Yeah,
that's
if you get
quality rugby. Obviously, that's coming their way if they get one of those.
Ireland, Italy, and New York, that would do really well. And
No,
there's a lot of
you have to
Italians
have
living
one
in
of
New
the big
York.
games there. How about like Ireland, England?
No, we want both of. Well, we definitely want that in Dublin. That's it. I don't know about the English side of it.
I think there's
But
better
I think if
ways
you want to
to
grow
do it.
sport to fan bases in America, there's a lot of Irish people, there's a lot of Italian people, there's a lot of them that live in kind of New York, Boston, stuff. So I think if you had Ireland, Italy, it's not a game. Well, obviously we care about every Six Nations game, but it's probably the game we care.
Don't say it's not a game. You nearly lost it.
We didn't really lose it, yeah. But again, it's not like any of the other ones where it's a rivalry. So
Yeah, you
bring it
probably
over
have
there.
to.
And I
You
wouldn't-
probably
I'd
have
be
to have the
perfect for it.
biggest game there, England, France.
I would like to say I don't think you should tamper with the Six Nations and like what makes it special, which is like the rivalries we have. I would rather we do things like Ireland
tour.
are doing.
They do a test match, yeah. Do like
Yeah,
a
what
not
if they
Six
do like a
Nations game,
full
just get
tour
Ireland England to play in US.
Instead of France traveling to New Zealand or Ireland, for instance, to South Africa, you have both those teams touring and playing like a 3-match series in America.
Well, Scotland did Canada, USA, Chile.
Yeah, no,
and they got no
no.
crowds, yeah.
But
if it has proven that if you get a big like that, I think Ireland All Blacks that sold out really quick for high ticket prices as well. So they are interested in rugby. They just don't want to go see their own teams play. They want to go see our big teams.
I think well, England are playing USA. I don't know if you know this this summer. So they're going to do that. And I think something that'd be cool is if the MLR teams get pretty half decent attendances, more than Zebra will get. They're doing that. They're not, So it'd be quite cool if European teams for pre-season or during the Six Nations could play MLR teams. That'd be quite a cool idea, I think.
What's this thing that recently happened? Like the under 85 kilograms New Zealand versus
Sri Lanka. I've got that on my phone right now.
25,000 people.
Yeah,
that's nearly as much as they was for the semi-final for their game.
Yeah,
their schools rugby's huge in Sri Lanka. I don't know where the players end up, but
need more games in Sri Lanka.
Anyway, the most important question, Jake.
I have one more thing about USA actually, but I can't remember who posted it now. But it says they're seriously considering putting a Super Rugby team in the USA because they want to try and help the US before the World Cup.
The Melbourne Rebels.
Just leave. I think they need to leave Super Rugby to the Pacific. Just have that as a Pacific League.
Yeah, Super Rugby still needs their teams. Whoever gets take like the Cheetahs from South Africa.
Yeah, but they want to. I don't know.
The Curry Cup team
about this idea because they want to improve the USA. There's a lot of money in the USA and potential viewership. So what would that?
You're saying the Cheetahs won't better them?
No. You know what? The how do you say it? Jaguares did for Argentina. What could the Eagles do for USA?
Wait. Sorry. So do they want to take one of the USA teams and put them in Super Rugby?
Well, I don't know if it's one of the. I don't know. Just a USA. Yeah, a USA club. It could be a new one.
Okay, sorry, I had it wrong way around. I was like, one of the Super Rugby teams going to, like MLR. Okay,
the American Cowboys, American Eagles.
Yeah.
Going to play some rugby. Okay, Jake, fitness journey update. Give it to us.
You just don't want to talk about that idea.
No.
Okay. Well, the bad thing is I only run before I come and do this because I know you're going to ask me about it. So I went today, like an hour and a half ago, 2 hours ago, and I did my first fully 5K without stopping. That's pretty good.
What? Did you say 25K?
No, 5.
No, 5.
Oh, 5K. I thought you said 25. I was like,
fucking.
But the pace that Jake runs at, it looks like he's looking for parking, like when he drives.
No, it was good.
I'm kidding. Jake, we are proud of you. Do you take your time as well?
I look at the oven clock before I run out the door, and then when I get back,
because he's got the burger cooking. Got to be back in time for that. Then he picks up the pace. So you don't wear like a Garmin or an Apple Watch or anything like that?
No, that's too techy for me. About 35, 36 minutes. I did it in, not great, but it's like the first time in 2 years I've done it without stopping a 5K.
Oh,
So.
good stuff, Jake. Okay, so that's the first positive feedback that Jake has given us on his fitness journey. So we'll be waiting for that one come again. Well, we'll try and do 2 more fan forums this week because I think we should get one out before the British and Irish Lions. And then I think we should get one out right after the British and Irish Lions as well.
Yeah. So
we'll see what we can do there. But otherwise, everyone, please do remember to hit that like and subscribe button. We do appreciate you guys. Tiernan, go show him some love on YouTube and on TikTok, and the same for Jake, YouTube and TikTok. Tiernan, you look like you wanted to say something.
I got one more thing after the final podcast we had last year. I said the same thing. We're going to do it again. Leinster to win it in Bilbao 2026. Cardiff 2025 is not on. But yeah, we're getting it done. Drive 5 starts again.
Good thing
December,
above his head.
So stay tuned.
Good thing above his head it says gobshite, because that's just all that he's talking about.
Gobshite. It's beautiful. I've never pointed that out. It's perfectly placed.
Everyone, thank you and bye-bye.